listening to The Review on the OSG Sports Podcasting Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Review. It's the Online Sports Guys College Football Podcast featuring us, the Online Sports Guys. We have made it, guys, into the first full week of January.
Yeah. What
Lots of
about it?
lots of things happened since the last time we gathered. The college football playoff is down to 4 teams. We have portaling, and more portaling.
Causing
few
some
other-
turtling.
Some new faces in new places, and we're going to look ahead a little bit at what we can expect in the upcoming semifinal series. We won't call it the Final Four because the Final Four will be upset at us.
Basketball folks might get mad and yank our football privileges. Yes.
So we won't do that, even though we said Final Four multiple times.
Final four teams.
Basically.
And we'll start things off talking about the quarterfinals of the playoffs, the biggest hyped games of the season. We'll start off, I guess, with probably the biggest of the surprises. Miami gets the win over Ohio State. And
Speaking of portal, somebody needs a kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The irony was not lost on the Florida State grad amongst us.
That was rough.
I got to be honest, with Miami's past reputation of not performing to the moment, this one surprised me a little bit.
Yeah. The one thing that's been driving myself included Buckeye fans nuts is the Ohio State's pace. Like in the second half, they came out with a different pace. They also altered the offensive line a little bit. But thinking you can just turn it on any time of the year, that came back to bite them. I also think that the whole rigmarole with the offensive coordinator heading out of town, and then last week they decided to have Ryan Day do it. That's not the time to get your first game as a OC in about 2 or 3 years.
Nope.
That's not the time to test that.
And it showed.
It showed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They were still in that game, and it was still close. I mean, you nail that field goal, it's a different thing. That you could tell. You could just see the looks on people's faces on the sideline when he missed that. That poor kid. My heart goes out to him because he was already taking a lot of guff. Some moron put his personal information on the internet.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I did that like 2 weeks ago, so that it didn't exactly do a whole lot for his confidence, I imagine, going into this game. And then they had a kid from Ball State as his backup, and I'm wondering how bad he was at practice that they never gave him a shot.
It's a good question.
But props to Miami, they brought it. Both
we
sides
knew
of the
this
ball,
was
that
gonna-
line.
Yeah, we knew this was probably going to be a defensive battle, and it was.
When they knocked 2 fumbles off that running back and they both bounced straight to him, I'm like, fudge.
That's probably something a little bit more colorful than that.
Yeah. It's not much you can do. Miami's defensive line is outstanding.
Yeah. The one thing that I continue to notice in this game is that, yes, obviously the net rushing yards for Ohio State was 45 on 24 carries. Like I said,
They had -3 at halftime.
Yeah, and one of the early points that you notice is with that Miami front 4 and then the front 7, when Ohio State tried to go to the edges, the play gets strung out, and Miami's speed is not going to prevent. It's going to prevent you from turning the corner, and you saw that a lot where Miami's pushing the ball from Ohio State from sideline to sideline. Obviously, you're not getting positive yardage that way in the first place, but stringing the play out and clamping down on it to where Bo Jackson, had 55 yards rushing. C.J. Donaldson was the only other runner that had double-digit yards.
And they did have a little bit of a success in the second half, making an adjustment and running a lot more counter runs.
And going 12 with 2 tight ends to get that outside and give a cutback lane inside.
Yeah.
but it still wasn't enough at the end of the
Should have
day.
made that adjustment earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to figure out, how it was defensively that, Carson Beck only throws for 138 and one, but what you end up doing is the biggest thing about Carson Beck is make him think. You have to make him think in these situations. You have to get after him, and you have to force his brain to work at 78 RPMs instead of 33 and a third or 45.
Mm-hmm.
And giving him time to think and also not keeping him in contain in key moments, you end up with an 11-yard run was one of his longest. But once again, you've got to make Carson Beck think. And Ohio State's defense was not in a position to let that happen for whatever reason. You let Carson Beck beat you by, passing the ball in key situations, making all of those key completions, and then making sure that he was able to, do a dump off, give a handoff. And it was something for me where you're looking at Carson Beck and you're going, this Carson Beck has no business beating you. And that Carson Beck had all the business beating you.
Yeah, there were three parts of this that we've been talking about over the past couple of months that all sort of came true at the same time. But Marty's been saying all along that their offensive line has been sort of a mess. And
Yeah, the previous regime's recruiting. You don't just develop a lineman in 1 year. Like it takes at minimum, unless you got an absolute genetic freak that comes out of the womb weighing 20 pounds. It's going to take 2 years for them to get their one technique, and then two, just to have the mass to move defensive linemen. They're that quality.
Yeah, and they got away with it against most of the competition, but this athleticism, size, and speed of Miami is something, which is the second point, that they didn't run into much this year, and didn't really have anything to counter what Miami was doing with their defensive lines. They just didn't have the experience or athleticism to deal with it. And then the third part is, we had talked about for a while, what happens in a game where Ohio State doesn't have total tactical control of it, which is what they had most of the year. And with the interception for the touchdown, totally put them in a place that was unfamiliar to them for most of the year. And still they almost won.
What kills me is on that play, the tight end was wide open down the middle.
Yeah. So, I mean, with all the turnover they had from a championship season, I mean, they still had a really good year.
If you're an Ohio State fan, you can't complain. And
no.
They will.
The better team won.
There's every fan base has that segment that's going to complain no matter what. But you go a year between defeats, that's not a bad season.
Yeah, it's a good run.
Well, yeah, and you got some hardware that's still kind of fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And then beating Michigan trumps all. So,
yes, of course it does.
Going down the list of playoff games, the early game on Thursday, New Year's Day, that one also a bit of a surprise. Oregon with a 23-0 win over Texas Tech. And again, this is a game that was dominated by the defense. Both teams. Texas Tech.
We took the over on that one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And
I didn't see that coming.
No,
I was shocked.
Yeah.
Texas
I'm
Tech.
glad I don't bet also.
Yeah, there's a reason I don't bet. Texas Tech just couldn't get anything going against Oregon's defense at all. And the Ducks did enough to score on Tech's defense, which is still pretty good. And again, another team that had a great season, played really well, but really struggled to rise to the moment.
That's going to come
to Oregon.
Yeah.
For winning a 9 a.m. game.
Yeah.
That's a very tough thing to do. They've had, I think, the experience during the year of them traveling across paid some dividends in this game. Even they weren't totally sharp in the first half. They had enough. And the second half, they really got their act together, it looked like.
215 net yards of offense for Texas Tech. That's 137 in the air and then 78 net on the ground. Those are two numbers that I would not have anticipated from a Texas Tech team that we have seen all season long. But obviously you tip your hat to the defensive setup that Dan Lanning and that Oregon ended up with. You end up with on the day 4 sacks, 7 TFLs, 4 passes defended along the day, and when you have Dylan Thieneman and Bryce Betcher each with 12 tackles each, 6 solos on the board. I mean, that's insane numbers that you piece together. 59 tackles, 35 solo tackles. You know how difficult it is these days to sit there and have players with sound fundamentals when it comes to tackling, the roll tackling, what have you. But when you've got 35 solo tackles, 4 sacks, and 7 TFLs, that's a pretty strong day against an offense like Texas Tech's.
Yeah, it's hard to have the kind of the chemistry to deal with that kind of adversity when you're kind of just a group of mission. How many guys were on that
Our
team last
guns.
year? Yeah, but this year the Red Raiders have established themselves, and they're not going to be losing as many players and bringing in as many players. So that's you got to expect them to make quite the run next year. And with the proof of like how that they can get that going, that's going to be an attractive destination for the holes they need to plug. This week it opened up on Friday
with some money, and money talks.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally.
Your mid-afternoon game on New Year's Day. This was the only one that really was never as close as the score indicated. Indiana 38, Alabama 3.
Ooh. Wait, I want to know where Chris Sankey is right now. We should have 7 teams in.
Oh my God.
Well, since my mom is an Alabama grad, I'll start out here that this Alabama team wasn't really even as good as the Gene Stallings version, much less a Nick Saban version. And I hope that going forward that's taken into account when the teams are picked, because they had a nice year winning in Athens, probably got them in, but this is an above average team that got really exposed by a team with no weaknesses, who just did what they did all year and just methodically dismantled Alabama, and who couldn't do anything about it.
I mean, Sly, just go ahead and say it was an ass whooping. That's all right.
Or curb stomping, or in whatever definition you want to use.
Grab the belt.
Signetti should have pulled his belt out, but not in the scary way that Michael Irvin was at the Cotton Bowl.
Well, I think that the streak of in-game smiles that Curt Signetti has this season has now approached 14.
And I don't think I've seen one since like midseason.
No, I mean there. I mean, and after the game, yes, he has smiled. I will stipulate to that. But I think the personification of this game was the double fake, double timeout sequence. And Signetti just looked like someone absolutely just threw his food on the floor. and he was that mad. And of course, it's like this you get to say, like, Curt Signetti mad. Curt Signetti, it's the same picture all the way across.
Yeah, it's like the Darth Vader t-shirt.
Yes. And so
Curt Signetti only slightly less mad.
Yeah, same picture. So, he wasn't having any of the shenanigans of trying to be drawn offsides, which once again goes to the great discipline that we've seen from the team in all 3 phases. So it's trying to draw him offside, timeout, come back out. Let's try it again. And then, no, timeout. And then you see the cutaways of Signetti going up and down the sideline, and he's just like, man, can we get this thing moving here? It's like, I got to go to in and out, across the freeway in about 4 it's like, I'm on a clock here, kid. And you got to see just I'm hoping this is that one overarching thing that folks finally got to see, that Indiana is not a team to be messed with so far, in 2024, 2025/26. And so, literally it was boot. I
texted you guys after that game. I think that it kind of summed it up by saying it's just Indiana's world right now, and we're living in it.
And that's fine. I like variety, and it's all cool for me. When you have a quarterback who has more touchdowns than incompletions, 14 of 16 on the day and 3 TD passes. I mean, you end up with what? 255 on the ground, 192 in the air. So that's what's 8 from 55? 447 net against Alabama. And it just got to the point to where Alabama was just like, there were some players in the secondary, especially second half on the touchdown runs, where they would sell out on the first level and they break through. And then second level, nobody's there. Somebody's trying to take a bad angle. You just kind of see them pull up as they're going into the end zone. I think that was the personification of that matchup, especially third and fourth quarter, where it's just like, yep, we're out the door.
It's I don't know what you do with a team that has no weaknesses and makes almost no mistakes and plays at a high level in every
Match
phase.
the tires on the bus. Sit there and
Yeah.
cut the tires on the bus, basically.
Which is not to say that they're invincible. They could have a bad day. They could have a day where Mendoza misses a couple of passes and all of a sudden,
Look at the B1G title game.
yeah.
They were mortal at points in that, but they found the way to win in the end. And
that way to win is let Ohio State kick field goals.
I
I was so envious watching all these other games where they're making field goals from far away.
can empathize, my friend. Let's put it that way.
In the final game of the playoff New Year's Day extravaganza, arguably the best game of the bunch, Ole Miss gets the win over Georgia 39-34 in a wild game.
They seem like they're sort of living out the Blues Brothers thing. We're on a mission from God. There's something special going on there. I don't know if it'll carry them through Miami, but you can tell that something was way different.
We got a D2 quarterback, a defensive coordinator as a head coach, bunch of transfers and coaches leaving, and our head coach has gone someplace else in the same conference, and we're in the Final Four.
Don't underestimate the power of FU Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
That might be the strongest motivation in all the playoffs of the.
I mean, look, all you got to do is look at that photograph of Lane Kiffin and Kim Mulkey holding hands at the Maravich, walking out onto the floor.
It's literally Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine walking.
Literally, that is, I mean, it is, brother, that is the personification of that deal right there. And what do you want to bet it takes a year and a half for Lane to do something to piss Kim off and have him go out the door?
I'm shocked you're giving it a year and a half.
Two of the most attention-seeking folks you could ever have. That's like that, dude. That's like matter and antimatter hanging out in the same joint. You know, you're waiting for that large explosion to happen. But no, I give Rob Golding and the staff a lot of credit.
Golding.
Oh, whatever. Fine. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of holding midfielders for Newcastle. That's my bad.
I'm not going to be shocked if Lane tries to pull some more crap with the assistants that are coaching over there.
Oh, absolutely. No, I just said one. I didn't say the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I was gonna get to that when we talked about the news of the week, because word's already come out that there is a lot of negotiating going on right now because LSU is threatening to pull all the assistants who've been allowed to coach at Ole Miss before this coming week's game.
Here's my shocked face.
Yeah.
Which would kind of stay in character.
That's a Richard move, and you know it is.
Oh yeah. No question about that. I loved at the end of the game when Kirby Smart was talking about Trinidad Chambliss, and Kirby said, "I just want to know who it is that found this kid, and then made him what he is as a quarterback, because he's one of the best. He came out of nowhere.
If he'd listened to the X, he would know this." How many weeks have we had Rob Bentley, the play-by-play voice of Ferris State, on the show? Several. How many weeks do we cover Division II athletics on the X? A lot. If you'd listen,
Bill, I didn't get an X out of you.
If you'd listen and watch our shows, you'd know this. Ferris State is not Finlandia, okay? They're not. They're not. Yes, neither. You know, Fred Armisen is your offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Who
look,
could have foreseen that he was going to come from where he came from to do what he has done at this level?
if you apply what he did at Division II, and look, Ferris State is not your average Division II program. Ferris State, look, championship games they've won 4 championships in recent
Yeah,
memory.
but John, the guy, he didn't even win the starting job coming out of camp.
Well, that's what it was September 13th against Arkansas was the coming out party. So that was all of what three games. So, I mean, look, Lane Kiffin, to his credit, going into the situation, said I think it was going into week 0 that look, our backup quarterback might be better than our starting quarterback, and he was proven to be correct. If you find a quarterback, I mean, look, if you go to right now, if you go to West Florida, when you've got a record-setting quarterback there with our friend Caleb Nobles in Division II, it's where you find them, and if that athlete meets the skill set that you're looking for and you're confident they can translate, it doesn't matter, much like shingles, it does, you don't care where you find them, and it just doesn't matter where they come from if they fit your system. You have offensive linemen. Look, you can teach a big ugly how to do things in the trenches. You can find a linebacker that's got great ability, and they can be 1AA, Division II, whatever. In the portal, you're going to see a bunch of universities that you may not know about off the top of your head. But a winning pedigree and having a quarterback who was there to guide you to a championship game in his first year, to win a championship game in his second year, and then found in the portal and goes to the SEC and was better than the starting quarterback that was there to begin with, this really doesn't surprise me, the fact that they've run to this particular point. The fact he was a success doesn't surprise me. The fact that you've had this run has been a cool element of this. And there's the one drive in the fourth quarter where basically Trinidad Chambliss goes Leroy Jenkins and has those 3 plays in a row. I mean, literally, it was a YOLO drive. He is scrambling. He makes a completion for 15. The second play, he has to scramble all the way back to his 5-yard line, and he gets a completion out to the 40. And then the third one, where he is on the run, on the dead run to his right, and throws it 40 yards on a rope to get things downfield. That is stuff that doesn't matter what division we're talking about here. Doesn't matter. NAIA, D3, D2, 1AA, Division 1. That's an ability of a quarterback regardless of level, and you've got to tip your hat to Kiffin and his scouts who probably poured over Huddle and, had some kind of computer program or whatever. The fact that you found a Trinidad Chambliss, I give Lane Kiffin credit more than I do anything else in this. Look, he found somebody. What's up with the rest of you not looking in places like this?
Mm-hmm. People are there. There's guys like that all over the place, all over the map. But sometimes you got to go look for them.
A little effort goes a long way sometimes when you're trying to find a quarterback like Trinidad Chambliss.
Michigan was right down the road, and they paid millions more for someone that wasn't as good.
Oh, my God.
Want to go through a couple of bowl games here, guys?
Sure, why not?
While we have the floor, Monday.
Drew Messemaker goes to Oklahoma State. What a shock!
That's again you're foreshadowing, John.
That's a straight out spoiler.
Yes. Your Monday bowl game on December 29th, my Georgia Southern Eagles get the win over App State 29-10. Looked very impressive in doing it.
Nicely done.
Good win, and I was homesick, so I had the ability while I was able to stay awake to watch it.
You've got to get that. You've got to get that helmet. You've got to find that helmet, or you've got to find that gear with the nameplate on the back of the helmet that said "Deeper Than Hate."
Mm-hmm.
That was gorgeous, and you guys found you told App State to go out back and find their own stick.
Yeah, and then some. Tuesday's games, USC and TCU, ended up actually being a pretty good game at the Alamo. TCU gets the win 30-27 in overtime.
I laugh. Tackle people. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Sound fundamentals, especially in overtime.
All it takes.
You've got the sideline right there with you. Shoulder, player, out. Just don't.
That's how that works.
And then you end up losing by not pushing a guy out of bounds. That's a you problem.
Mm-hmm. La Tech wins what was basically a home game for them against Coastal Carolina in the Independence Bowl, 23-14.
A while to turn the engine over, but they were okay.
An easy one there. And then the
Yes,
Fighting
let's
Illini
go
get
here. We got to find out
W.
about this one, brother.
They take the Music City Bowl with a 30-28 win over Tennessee.
So
We
yes,
cede the
Illinois
floor to you.
did benefit from a lot of opt-outs from Tennessee, including most of their best players at receiver and on defense.
Yeah.
However, no one in Champaign is apologizing for the first time in their tortured history as a program, 100 plus years, of winning 9+ games 2 years in a row. That's a huge deal, regardless of they beat South Carolina and Tennessee the last 2 years. They've got a lot to sell. And this, John Nelson talks all the time about what makes a good bowl game. This, Knoxville's 3 hours away. Champaign was 5.5 hours away. This is a really good atmosphere in a bowl in Nashville. Really, what everything you would want. They're all over the city. The fans. It was just really, really cool deal all the way around. And
Boy.
see what the portal brings for Illinois if they can keep it going. But it's a great time. Brett Bielema really is all in, and thank goodness for that.
I just have this vision of him eating Hattie B's, walking up and down the front after the game was over.
Parting through the crowds of on the streets of Broadway.
Watch out for those ducks.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
along with the college football playoff game on Wednesday, New Year's Eve, we had some regular games. The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, Texas gets the win over Michigan, 41-27.
Oh,
Nice performance from Arch Manning.
The I lost to Ohio State Bowl was my favorite.
I mean,
Arch threw for went 21 for 34, 221 and a couple of touchdowns, and also ran 9 times for 155 and a couple of scores.
Which Arch was on screen more, though?
Yeah, really?
Jesus.
I mean, it's by the way, let's see. The narrative starts in 3, 2, 1. A, Texas is back, and B, Arch Manning is going to win 4 Heisman trophies in a row.
How many years you got left?
Him and doesn't matter. Him and Ron Paulus, they're going to be the first 4-time ever Heisman Trophy winners.
I'll give the kid his due.
Oh.
He got better over the course of the season. Is he the second coming at quarterback? Not at this point in time. But he's proven now that he can probably play on the level that he's at, which is part of the accomplishment for a high school kid.
Mazel tov. Good on you. Here's a quick impression of Arch Manning in 2026.
Okay.
As he runs away from trying to be sacked every single week. That was my Doppler effect of a quarterback scrambling. That was what I got with Joey McGuire when FSU played Houston. Literally, that's all you heard was him screaming with this pass rush with Ed Oliver on a bad knee. That's all you're going to hear.
Conversely, what's Bryce Underwood going to look like in year 2?
Good question.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
he's still got to be sore from that shot Hero Canoe put on him.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite names, too.
Canoe. Absolutely.
The Big Ten dominance of the SEC continues when Iowa beat Vanderbilt 34-27 in the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Is that the new Outback?
So
it is.
Does Diego continue to run his mouth
yes.
before games?
Yes.
I don't know that anybody's explained to him that he needs to shut up.
That quote aged poorly.
That's in his DNA. It's not going to change, and that's why he will probably end up being a.
I'd never turn more on a player.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, I used to like him till I heard him.
Yeah, he arguably made the most dramatic heel turn of any quarterback ever.
Yeah, and I mean what you said about at the Heisman ceremony. Then you continue to talk. And you continued not to become the winner in these situations. There might be a correlation there. I'm just guessing.
The more you run your mouth, the more you lose.
Yeah, direct proportionality
Oh,
there.
hey,
I mean,
Yeah,
look at that.
I saw a social media post of somebody showing Diego Pavia Motors as where he's going to end up, at where his NFL career is going to put him.
hey man, Stetson Bennett, but Stetson Bennett will be more successful at Stetson Bennett Kia in Blackshear, Georgia.
And a good call by John Nelson taking the over in this game.
Yeah, go
Uh,
figure. Iowa
who,
scored
Yeah.
34.
It's like, what
yeah,
have
who would
you
have
done?
thought
What have
this?
you done with this Iowa, sir?
That's more than they scored in all last year, right?
Yes,
I
Pretty
mean,
close.
34 total points.
Vanderbilt could not stop them when they needed to. And
When was the last time you said that sentence, Sly?
the Chuck Long Iowa teams, I don't know. That's all I can think of.
Unstoppable Iowa offense.
C.J. Beathard.
Oof.
Oh,
Hayden Fry.
yeah, yeah, really. That's just I'm, good for Iowa for finding offense. Maybe it has to do with not having the number of Ferentzes on one staff being the number one. If the less the less Ferentzes you have, the more offenses you find. I don't know.
Yeah, they
I just
doubled
like
up.
watching him eat Cheez-Its afterwards while Pavia's over there with his humble pie and grow. Try to grow.
More like Crow. Absolutely, yeah. And
Yeah,
the Iowa City Crow. I'm sure that was very gamey considering.
Props at Cheez-It Bowl for some interesting
Oh yeah,
food selections there.
yeah.
Yeah. Want to talk about one more impressive performance before we go to break. Utah finished off the day with a 44-22 win over Nebraska.
But
And
is it impressive when you beat Nebraska?
the story of this game, John, Devin Dampier, the quarterback for Utah, 19 for 31, 310, and 2 touchdowns. He also ran the ball 19 times for 148 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean that is definitely an offensive MVP performance. So what is that total? 458 of responsible offense there for.
And 5 touchdowns.
And then who was quarterback for Nebraska? Wasn't the
No, it was
Mahomes
not.
cosplayer
No, it was
sitting that
not.
one
It
out?
was not. No, it was not Dylan Raiola. I don't believe. I think Dylan is.
It was not.
TJ Lateef is the answer to your question.
Mhm.
Latifa.
15 and 28, 182, 1-1, and a QBR of 54.5. However, they do that math. But yes, the Raiolas. Dylan is currently in the portal, and his younger brother has pulled back his commitment to same university, and so you have.
Amazing
Dueling
what happens when you unemploy another family member of his from the staff.
Dueling Raiola is now searching for a place to have their quarterbacking skills.
Well, you could try to go back to one of the 4 or 5 colleges he was committed to prior to going to college.
But Nebraska has Matt Rule at a high price tag for the next several years. So that's exciting.
Yes, that is absolutely true. what were they? 7-6. Finished the season 7-6 after losing to the number 15 team in the country. So yes, Mazel Tov, you crazy kids, way to go. And salute to Texas State for getting a win in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, 41-10 over Rice. Good win.
Game.
Good win for G.J. Kinney. And that
SMU
program
gets the win over Arizona at the not the Will and Grace, but the Trust and Will Holiday Bowl.
Jack and Will, it's Trust and Will instead. Just trust.
Yes.
Yeah, that was close too. Smoo held on, took out number 17 team.
Yeah.
And
Blake Horvath and the Navy midshipmen with a bowl game win. They win the Liberty Bowl 35-13 over Cincinnati.
Yes.
Shitty
And
game too.
your final embarrassment for the SEC was a Friday night loss by Mississippi State. Wake Forest 43, Miss State 29. Big game for Robbie Ashford, 303 yards passing and 3 touchdowns.
It just means more.
His 17th school where he's been a quarterback in college.
Oh no, I think Dylan Raiola, I think, is going to long pass him on that.
And T.J. Finley.
Yes. TJ Finley's played for every group of 6 school in the conference in I can't even spit it out. Never mind, the joke's not funny anymore because I can't say it.
He's played for every Go 5 that has.
This joke will come back in the second half.
Yes, absolutely.
And outside of Clemson, excellent postseason for the ACC.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, they showed pretty well. Um,
Wow.
Guys, what do you say we wrap up the first half of the show? We have talked long enough here about games that happen. When we come back in the second half of the show, we'll preview the college football playoff semifinals. We'll talk a little 1AA or FCS as they are currently known,
Yeah,
final
man.
action. And there's a few news and notes to talk about as well. All that more when we return with the second half of the review. You are listening to the review on the OSG Sports Podcasting Network.
Please like and subscribe.
Over here in the OSG sports side of things, we talk football. FOOTBALL. College football version here with the college football review every single week. But for those of you that like not just football with two O's, but football with a U, FUTBOL, there's the Soccer Down Here Network. I'm John Nelson. I host the morning show on Soccer Down Here along with Jarrett Smith, Nick Alifi, Jason Longshore. And if you're looking for the best information when it comes to the world of soccer, based in the southeastern United States, but we don't leave anything off the table. 9:05 Eastern time until 11 whenever. Sometimes we go for a while. SDH Network morning show, soccer's morning show, Monday through Friday, plus all the live events we do. It is your place and your source for soccer that is based in the Southeast, but covers everything on the world. SoccerDownHere.net, the Soccer Down Here app, available iOS and Android through our friends at Spreaker. That's like speaker with an R in the middle. Spreaker, do a search for OSG Sports, do a search for Soccer Down Here. All the soccer content all in one place. It is the SDH Network and Soccer Down Here.
Thanks for sticking around, everybody. You have made it to the second half of the show. Guys, before we get into our semifinal picks, a few transfer portal nuggets to talk about here. Kentucky loses their quarterback. Cutter Boley will be leaving Kentucky after a fairly successful first season as a freshman. He will be heading to Arizona State. That one happening over the course of the evening.
Random.
We talked about some of the quarterbacks already in there doing Raiola, some of the other bigger name guys who are showing up. Cincinnati's Brendan Sorsby, he took a trip to Louisiana this weekend actually, and spent some time with our favorite coach Lane Kiffin.
I still think I think that there's going to be, and this we do know already, that the staff that has hung over, and they might be hung over still, both literally and figuratively, in Oxford is making plays for players on that roster to make the move to LSU. Consider me shocked. I would anticipate that there's going to be a lot of conversation from those individuals and those in positions of power for said quarterback that we talked about in the A block to see if he will move over to LSU. So if I'm another quarterback in the portal currently, I'm not touching LSU until I find out what Trinidad Chambliss's future is going to be.
I think Mr. Chambliss would be making a serious mistake if he left the current situation that he is in.
Not denying. I'm just saying that it just with the dynamic in play between Red Stick and the Grove, watch that pipeline and figure out who's going and who's not before you make a decision.
Not easy to say no to being a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we mentioned in the first block, North Texas's Drew Mestemaker is North Texas no more. He follows his former coach out to Oklahoma State. Gives him a building block to start with.
Yeah, Marty, do we know if Caleb Hawkins is following suit yet?
I haven't heard anything yet, but I'm gonna not be shocked at all. I think they just kind of spacing out their announcements so they don't overshadow their teammates.
Hashtag GMG.
And John, your lovely bride should be excited. New quarterback making his way to Auburn.
You're a funny man.
Byron Brown following his coach Alex Golish from the Tampa Bay area to the Plains of Auburn.
Yeah, that is that I haven't seen officially official yet. Is that officially official? I know that the conversation is there and the logic is there with Alex Golish. I also know that the freshman quarterback from USF is officially official heading that direction. So it makes sense. And keep an eye on this too in this new era of the portaling where you have coaches who leave and then you have players once again shuttle. We talk about it with Morris and Mestamaker and Hawkins at North Texas. All of the players that are leaving destinations, when a coach leaves, how many players follow in these situations, and especially in skill positions. I don't know if Brown is officially official yet, but his understudy is, and so what Alex Golish is doing is very intriguing. You're setting up your own pipeline of a depth chart for your first year at a new gig. I want to know how many other schools are going to be doing stuff like that. Right now, that's a pretty smart play for Alex Golish, who is looking to get a starting quarterback and then have his understudy ready in his system going forward once Brown finally does graduate, if he does in fact make it to Auburn.
Another interesting name that jumped into the portal and made some headlines this weekend. UNLV's Anthony Calandria was seen heading towards Tallahassee.
You're a funny man. Look,
I think he probably would be a bit of a step up over Thomas Castellano.
Not denying, but if you don't have the money for the buyout of your coach, what makes you think that they can find the money in their NIL budget, whatever it is, to bring in someone like Calandria and anybody else that they want to bring in for the portal? I just, look, I don't see it financially. And even if you do spend money on someone like Calandria and he does come to Tallahassee, what's the rest of your budget like? What are your surrounding players going to be? That, to me, is the other part in this. Just because you can spend money on one player, unless that player can be like Bugs Bunny in the baseball cartoon, then,
First, second, third base.
Uh-huh.
All that announcement leaking out is we're trying to keep our alumni happy and trying to get some money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
That we're making an effort.
Accurate.
Yeah,
Just walk over to the Capitol and try to divert some of the tourist tax money over to the
Don't
program.
be surprised, sir, if they
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, literally, but if you try to do that, then if you go to the Gold Dome and do that, then you're going to anger folks at the University of South Georgia Gainesville campus and their boosters. You're going to anger folks who are at the University of Coral Gables and their boosters who have reps at the Gold Dome. You're gonna get folks mad who are at the Bouncy House in Central Florida. The folks at USF, you're going to get them mad. So you got to be careful about those kinds of things. It's like
Oh, yeah.
So why would I vote for a guy who's going to approve funds for one school and not approve funds for his own school in his own district? Those kinds of things. Keep an eye on it. I mean,
Yep, another interesting quarterback move. Old Dominion quarterback Colton Joseph signs with Wisconsin.
oh God.
Whoa.
Saw Joseph play in person when he picked apart my Georgia Southern Eagles. Good football player. Not sure how he's going to translate to Wisconsin, a team that really didn't have much of anything at any position this past year.
It's sort of a make or break play for if that's going to be Wisconsin's starter. They suffered with below average quarterback play this past year, so I hope they don't get it right. But
it only takes a year to turn around now, though.
Well,
Yeah.
but that's the thing is like you could bring in Colton Joseph at Wisconsin, but if you don't surround him with supporting cast, that goes back to our Bugs Bunny argument again. You bring in one dude. Okay, cool. What's the surrounding cast? Then the supporting cast. Oh yeah, we forgot about that. We'll trust the folks that we have. Then Colton Joseph is going to be running for his life most of the year.
Pretty good chance of that. A lot of other guys we could talk about.
I saw Lincoln Keenholz from Ohio State sign with Louisville. That kid's a good dual threat guy. He was a 3-athlete star in high school.
Yeah.
Watch him to make a little noise next year.
Do we know anything about folks like Levitt and Lagway yet?
Last thing I was just about to bring up, Levitt. Levitt apparently had a planned trip going to Texas Tech,
Okay.
which would be a spectacular pickup for them.
Best team money can buy. Yeah. I mean, that's if they got to work on key positions and probably uh, speed on offense, or at least big uglies on offense to make sure that your quarterback stays upright.
Yeah, and Pete Thamel reported over the weekend as well that Mr. Lagway, he also made the trip up the highway to Florida State.
Don't do it.
I was waiting for the reaction there.
Don't do it for your own personal safety. First and foremost, literally, that is that literally is bringing in someone from why? I mean, are you trying to do a heel move? Are you going to cut a heel promo right there at the fountain when you go right through the arches on the front of campus? I mean, literally, you sit there and you DX chop everybody when you sit there. You walk in the door. I mean, honestly, no, look, uh, the response from the alum base and you're bringing in somebody from there. I mean, you may as well just look. You may as well just bring in Carson Beck for F's sake. That's what you're doing. If you're visiting Tallahassee and you go to school at the University of South Georgia Gainesville campus or the University of Coral Gables, literally no. No. You're going there to recruit now. You're taking an OV on a portal from a rival school. Legitimately, that's like if
Desperate times.
but I
He
mean,
wasn't good enough for them, but he's good enough for us.
yeah, he's leaving a rival school and he wants to come here. Yeah, no, that's not how this works. That's like saying,
I'm kind of wondering who's paying the NIL money on that one.
it's like, I mean, legit.
Who's paying for him to go there?
No, under no circumstance. Look, you're going to have, if this was to in fact happen,
A sarcastic NIL deal. I got it's only a matter of time.
you legitimately would have so much hate watching if DJ Lagway goes to Tallahassee. You would have so much hate watching from inside the university itself and the alums and the student body. Literally, you would be rooting for your own implosion, and you would have no
killers inside the house.
This is what I'm saying. It's a call. The call's coming from inside the house. That's what this would be. So the answer is an emphatic no.
Why is it fun when Florida and Florida State aren't good?
Because we're some of the most overreactive folks that you would ever find.
What's even more fun is watching them fall all over themselves face first to try to make themselves worse.
We step on rakes as a hobby. just look, be Nancy Reagan in this case. Just say no. God.
Goodness gracious.
DJ Lagway to Tallahassee. Are you blanking kidding me with this? No. Danny Werfel to Tallahassee. No. Terry Dean. No. Doug John. No. That's what you're doing here. And you know that Steve Spurrier would be laughing his ass off the second this was to happen.
Oh, he's already laughing now just by the idea that he went there just for a visit.
Oh my God! Someone put a microphone in OBC's face. I'm just going to laugh the entire time at him. See, they can't win with their own quarterback. They got to recruit ours. Literally something like that.
Want to also mention that sometimes you can go home again. Clemson bringing back Chad Morris to be their offensive coordinator.
They need help. Yeah, that's
roughly a decade after he left Clemson to pursue his head coaching dreams, which blew up in his face.
Yeah. I mean, you go to where you're loved at this point, and Clemson needs help. And who knows? Maybe Chad's the CIW. Who knows at this point? He might be. He might be the coach in waiting for Dabo, because if the level of frustration is what we've seen what it is and it continues, then Chad might be the benefactor of that whole thing.
Yeah, if that were to happen, that would be living and breathing proof that you could really fall up
Yeah.
after being a terrible coach.
See Robert Petrino Esquire.
Your offensive coordinator at the University of North Carolina.
See Malzahn, Gus. Damn. DJ Tallahassee. Got to be kidding me with this stuff. Unbelievable. Just say no, Nancy Reagan.
We should probably move on before John's blood pressure spikes.
Like it hasn't already?
Before?
I don't know. I'm seeing a vein popping on his forehead.
Dude, my heart rate's at 108. I mean, no. Just no.
And he's not on a treadmill.
No, I'm not.
Guys, you want to talk a
But
little bit
our
about
offense is, I'll tell you that right now. It's like damn George Jetson in the close of the credits of their show every week.
John, Phil's trying to save you.
Yes, let me save you, please. Because we can talk college football semifinals here.
Too late.
The winner gets to go to the national championship game. And we're going to have a obvious first-time contender here. Miami and Ole Miss will be squaring off in Glendale, Arizona at State Farm Stadium Thursday, January 8th on the four-letter word.
Miami 3.5
on that matchup.
Miami 3.5, 52.5. Get-in price is $124 at the Snake in Glendale. Sly.
That low. See,
Well,
I want Miami to win, so Paul Feinbaum leaves the country like he promised. Of course, I think he said that last year too.
Yeah, that's his go-to.
How the hell do you not show up for a bowl game? 124 first time.
Sly, go.
Really interesting stories, obviously, in this game. Will Michael Irvin be on the sideline again? I think is a pressing question.
For the belt, yes, yeah.
His dealer's going to retire off this run.
I mean, the Fiesta Bowl owes one to Miami after that debacle against Penn State 40 years ago.
The hell they do.
Yeah.
But they pay Carson Beck a lot of money for this sort of moment. So we'll see if he's got it in him. And Trinidad Chambliss was not paid a lot of money relatively to be in this sort of moment. So who knows? This one is sort of up for grabs based on where it is and who's playing.
Give me the points. 3.5, 52.5. I'll take the points and I'll go. Well, I don't know if they get to the 52.5 if they do.
I don't think they do.
I think the speed on defense pins in Carson Beck. I think that the lessons that were exposed in the last game for University of Coral Gables, Ole Miss picks up on in this one.
See, I'm torn between keeping the SEC out of the championship game and how funny it would be to have Lane Kiffin get another bonus.
Yeah,
coaching.
And the argument over whether his assistant coaches stay in Oxford for another 2 weeks or not continue.
And then like the whole us being able to have a podcast about the subject of does he deserve a ring?
I'm sure he'd go in the 4-letter and lobby for one. I'll guarantee you that.
Oh God.
Yeah, what also could easily happen is he lets the assistants stay for the semifinal game. Ole Miss wins, and then he pulls the rug out from underneath it.
Oh, that'd be a Richard move
for the final. That is the ultimate dick move.
That would be a Richard move
He would have at that point he would have totally embraced his inner Darth Vader.
Well, I mean, he has shared hands with Kim Mulkey, so I mean, anything is possible. Give me Ole Miss.
I think Miami should win this game. I don't know that they will win this game.
Give me Ole Miss.
Ole Miss has got the story really going behind them. They've got the energy, and I cannot get enough of watching Trinidad Chambliss play quarterback on this big stage. So I'm going to take them for the win.
Yeah, as like I said, under no circumstance can I say anything positive about the University of Coral Gables. So by default, I'm going Ole Miss. Uncle Nevin cannot save you this time.
I mean, if I were to have to make a pick, I'd say Miami.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
I'm going to go Miami.
Boo.
Just to see Michael Irvin go ape shit.
That got us the E rating. There you go.
You get one.
Mm-hmm.
Your other semifinal matchup in beautiful Atlanta at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. God's Chicken presents Oregon and Indiana Friday night on the four-letter word. I think this one's going to be a fun game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's a sucker total, too, at 46.5 right now.
oh, they'll easily top that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Indiana's a 4. I mean, because last time they're going by what happened last time, and they were in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So I think neutral site. I think it goes over the total. I've got to go Indiana here. I think it might be like 27-23, and it might be a bad beat for somebody, especially if they pick it like at 4.5 or 5. But I just think that right now, it's Indiana's and everybody else is chasing.
You can't argue with that logic.
The only you can't bet against Indiana until proved otherwise. But the only thing Oregon has going for them is that they've already been exposed by Indiana
I don't want to know
this
about
year.
Oregon being exposed, sir.
Don't think so either.
But
Well, I mean, their
We'll see
mascot
if
runs
any-
around with no pants.
yeah, we don't know if any adjustments that are being made are going to matter.
Well, see, so you're talking about adjustments without wearing pants. There you go. Good.
Like I said earlier, I think right now it's Indiana's world. We're just living in it.
Yeah.
They look like the total package,
Lex
but
Luger?
not to be confused with Lex Luger.
There you go.
They've got everything you need in a college football team. They can run, they can throw, they play defense. Their line won the MVP award. Offensive line won the MVP award for their previous game in the Rose Bowl. I can't see Miami or Ole Miss beating them to get to that point. But I think Oregon will give them a fight at the end of the day. But I think Indiana just outscores them, which usually is what it takes to win a game. And it's a college football cliche when you say that.
The dollar in the jar. It's the first one for 26.
Yeah. But I don't think there's any stopping Indiana at this point until proven otherwise.
Correct.
Got to talk about one more game. Two more games. Well, one that I know I can find some details about.
Yeah.
Monday, January 5th, the football championship subdivision.
They won AA. It's all
It's
right.
one AA. That
Championship
sounds like a
game.
product in CVS or something.
Yeah, really. Here's your FCS brand cereal.
Illinois State and Montana State playing in Nash Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be some fun TV to watch.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Dakota free football.
Marty, go ahead and say your piece about the Heisman version in 1AA, sir, if you would, please.
Oh, I just, my alma mater, Youngstown State, had a Walter Payton Award winner, Bo Brungard, bringing it all year long.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Andy Sting.
See? I mean, that's you love those kinds of things.
Kid had a hell of a year, running, throwing, shoot, even caught touchdowns.
Yes, and
what more could you want?
I mean, when you're trying to win a trophy.
And he didn't turn heel. He actually thanked his family, thanked God, thanked his teammates.
I mean,
wow.
Mm-hmm.
What's not to love?
Illinois State, Montana State. Montana State survives Brawl of the Wild 2, which in and of itself is crazy. And for those of you that might have missed the X this past week, you can catch it before the game comes on. And you can hear from Craig Birchie, sideline reporter extraordinaire for the Roadbirds, as they are now being called. Not the Illinois State Redbirds, but the Roadbirds, considering that they have gotten all of their wins in the postseason on the road.
We got to dress him up like the Road Warrior.
Oh, I know. That'd be great.
I always see him come out with the shoulder pads on the sideline with the mascot.
What a rush. I mean, that'd be fantastic. But Birchie, knowing Birchie, he'd probably do that. For Illinois State, they go to Villanova, they go to Cal Davis. Where else did they go? I think they were part, and didn't they knocked off North Dakota State, didn't they? They were part of the Dakota Free Football. So they beat Villanova at Villanova. They beat UC Davis at UC Davis. They beat North Dakota State at North Dakota State. They beat Southeastern Louisiana in Hammond. They are now in the final game of the year. Out of the Valley, the Missouri Valley Conference, they are 12-4. Oh my God, a team's playing more than 15 games in a season. It's amazing what playoffs do. And so they make it with this big run in the offseason on the postseason on the road, going up against Montana State. And we also caught up with Keaton Galogly, the play-by-play voice for Montana State on the X this past week. And to survive Brawl of the Wild 2, the get-in price for Brawl of the Wild 2, which is Montana State, to get into the championship game, $650. The get-in price for that one was $650. Montana State has one of the most prolific
I
offenses.
apologize about my dogs going nuts this whole freaking show.
Oh, they're good.
We can't hear them.
No, we can't hear them. They look. I thought they were cheering for Taco Dowler in Montana State. I mean, look, and Taco Dowler, he's got an NIL deal with a local Mexican restaurant, as you should. He catches a touchdown, you get discounts, and that's fantastic. But one of the most prolific offenses in 1AA, and you're going up against Tommy Rittenhouse for Illinois State, who has survived games where he has thrown more picks than touchdowns. He had a 5-pick game in the postseason, and Illinois State has survived. So Montana State, they're the big dog right now, ranked number 2. And Illinois State, and Craig Birchie was confident about it. You know, he's like, if we can keep them off the field and be clinical, then we've got a chance to win. But Illinois State right now, they are a 10-point underdog. And the total 56.5. Money line's got Montana State at a -410, Illinois State at a +320. I think it's a tall order. Get in price, by the way, $83. Go.
Yes.
Go for that one. That one's
Worth it.
go.
Oddly enough, on this Magical Mystery Tour that Illinois State's been on, that Nashville is the closest destination of any of the games that they've played so far. Very drivable from Bloomington Normal. I hope they get a good representation there because they deserve it.
Yeah. Craig talked about.
Sad thing is, they're going to have more fans there than Miami's going to have at their game.
Oh, darn. But, I mean, legitimately, Montana State, they've had to add charters from Bozeman to Nashville. United Airlines has a flight
I'm guessing there's probably not a whole lot of flights coming from Bozeman to Nashville.
No, there's one, and there's one on United Airlines. And in the conversation that we've had, they've added charter flights because those are apparently cheaper when you're just bringing a bunch of your own folks instead of relying on a network, on an airline to do it. So you've added charter flights. You're going to see a lot of Montana State folks fly in from Bozeman. You're going to see folks driving in to support Illinois State. It's going to be epic when that one wraps. And so really looking forward to that one. So that's your 1AA preview.
And your other championship game, Mr. Nelson?
Division III, it is Wisconsin River Falls. And if you missed the end of the semifinal with them and Johns Hopkins, you missed a fantastic finish. The only thing missing was the sponsorship from Alcoa. And it was a 41-41 tie with under a minute to go. Wisconsin River Falls completes a 79-yard touchdown pass to get the win 48-41. However, they're going up against the juggernaut in Division III football, North Central College of suburban Chicago, Illinois, who play at Benedetti Wehrle Field in Naperville, Illinois. And they're going to Canton, Ohio. In the last 5 years that there has been a Division III champion, North Central has either won or been runner-up. So it's a tall order for Wisconsin River Falls, and going up against the juggernaut that is North Central. By the way, this is football on a budget. It's beer and a brat territory. General admission at Tom Benson Stadium, $20.
Yo.
Go.
Yeah. There's no excuse not to go to that one.
And you get to see one of the great current dynasties in Division III football in North Central, and a great underdog story in Wisconsin River Falls. I have the feeling it's going to be a long day for Wisconsin River Falls, but you get to see what North Central has been building the last handful of years.
It's nice to see that football in the state of Illinois isn't dead, as it was thought several years ago. So good stuff by in Naperville, Champaign, and Bloomington.
There you go.
They've got a pulse. They're coming
Yeah.
back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, got anything else here before we wrap things up on this episode?
Just say no. Just say no.
To what?
DJ Lagway and Florida State University. No.
We're gonna have a separate episode. Just
No. No. Marty, that's like someone from TSUN coming to your campus in a position of skill. That's no.
It's happened.
Well, but yeah, then what happened to your team after it happened? Did you win anything at the end of the year? I don't think you did. I don't think you did.
We won a championship that year.
Did just think of one thing to mention, and I want to get your thoughts on really quick before we wrap things up for the week. Oregon coach Dan Lanning threw something out this week that I thought was kind of interesting.
Oh,
The truth.
About the college football playoff and a way to make it better. And that is to start it right after the conference championship games. No buys, no sitting out for 3 weeks before things happen, because what's happened is the teams that get first round buys right now, they're a collective 1-7.
That's a you
college
problem.
football playoff error.
That's a you problem, sir. And I think the four-letter would have an issue with that because of all the other ancillary programming that they have in those slots, first and foremost. And I don't see it. And what I think would be something else to consider is moving the portal downstream, so that way you're not having folks portaling during bowl season. Move that.
Was also part of what he talked about. Is
Move
Start
that
a week earlier.
Move
Don't
that
open a portal till it's over.
Move that downstream.
Common sense.
Push the portal until after the championship games are done and the bowl games are done. But I don't think that you're going to move anything up if you're a programmer of said events.
You already got week 0. What's the big deal?
Yeah. So look, I think sliding the schedule up is a non-starter for your playoffs. Just take the portaling window and move it downstream.
Yeah.
25 days off between games isn't good.
That's a you
no,
problem.
it's ridiculous.
Enjoy your extra practices. Get the most out of it. That's a you problem.
We've seen in multiple sports, not just college football, that when you get that lag time, you get a team that's finishing their season on a roll, playing good ball, and then all of a sudden they have to come to a complete stop for a couple of weeks, and then they can't pick back up where they left off.
Good to know that you've already started hashtags for DJ Lagway now.
Very good.
Lag time. Mm-hmm. Good work. Mm-hmm.
What I'm here for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so make sure that you patent that quickly.
Yeah,
Just say no.
that'll do really well.
That will do. It will. Probably will.
Guys, let's go ahead and wrap things up here on the episode.
Sure.
For the entire OSG Sports college football team, Happy New Year. Happy college football season. We got lots to talk about the upcoming week and next week. We will summarize what's going to be a really, really interesting wrap up to the college football season.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out the X in the middle of the week, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye.
Please like and subscribe.